Hey everyone, welcome back to Taboo Book Club. I have Charles here with me today. I'm very excited to talk about Dark Notes. Um, I'll give everyone a second to get in here. I've already put the link in the Discord. But if you're here already, let me know how you felt about it, and we'll talk about it in just a second. I'm trying to get it pulled up on YouTube.
Yeah, we're live. I have it on my phone.
Okay, cool. All right, well, Charles, let's just go ahead and start talking. And we'll do non-spoilers first, and we'll do spoilers here in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. But what did you rate it?
I rated it a 3.
A 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did you think about it?
It was for what the premise was. It wasn't as dark as I thought it would be. It still is dark, but and it's taboo in nature, but it's done in a realistic way.
Hmm.
I was expecting like something crazy off the rails, but it was actually well done. Like I was surprised like how well the taboo was handled
Yeah.
and like how long it took like for the relationship and the chemistry to actually build.
Hmm.
So like I really like the only thing I didn't like was the ending. I was like, that's it. It
Yeah.
kind of just that's to get into spoilers, but like that's why it was a 4, but the ending knocked it down to a 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So for me, I ended up giving it a 5. I rounded up. So it's a
Okay.
4.5. I also really loved how the taboo in the dark was handled.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't consider trigger warnings spoilers, so the amount of
Mm-hmm.
rape and stuff that was on
On
page
page.
and how like the dark aspects were talked about in it, I never felt like it was just to shock you. Like I never
Mm-hmm.
felt like the dark parts were just like for shock factor, which I usually have like a huge problem with because it's
Mm-hmm.
usually how it feels. But in this one, I feel like Pam Godwin did a really good job of like making the trauma that our heroine has like actually part of just her life and the things she deals with
Mm-hmm.
instead of like just to make it darker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I agree. I
I
agree.
I
Like
love
she,
that about
yeah, I agree. It's there's a lot of casual. I would call it casual a little bit because it's not explicit in
it. Hmm.
description, which I appreciated.
Hmm.
So it wasn't like you had like these shocking scenes back to back to back to back. It was just like it was just something that the character was so numb to, and it worked in terms of like being in her headspace for the book, which I really liked.
Yeah,
Because I was a little bit worried because like there was no. I know why there aren't any trigger warnings for this book, but I would definitely say that's a big one if you're not into sexual assault or you
yeah,
can't read it. Like this, do not read this book. Like it's pretty prevalent. I think almost every wasn't it like almost every male character besides her brother in some
yes,
way assaulted her besides the hero.
yeah. Every
Yeah.
male character except, and I would say her dad too, but her dad, is not in the story, so I guess he doesn't really
Yeah.
count. But yeah, every male character except the hero and her brother assaults her, like sexually assaults her.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with what you said too with the taboo part, or not the taboo part, the dark part. I thought it was going to be darker than it was. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
everyone talks about how dark this one is, and I agree that it is pretty dark just
Mm-hmm.
because of like the content warnings in it. But I think I've read darker, and I think I was expecting way more from the story to be like way
Yeah.
dark.
The only thing that was dark, without spoiling anything, was something that happened at the end. That's when it kind of got a little bit dark. But I was
Hmm.
shocked about how tame it was.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's why I actually knocked it down about half a star, is because I was
Mm.
expecting it to, like, I had heard so much of it being so dark
Mm-hmm.
that I had to knock it down a little bit just because I was expecting so much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like this was like a main. This is like a light Pam Godwin read,
Yeah,
which is like it still is dark to a lot of people. But
yeah,
I was like Pam, you could have went darker on this with me.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I was preparing myself, and I was like, wait, because it isn't not a spoiler, but it's kind of a slow burn too.
yeah. It is in a way.
It takes a while for, and it makes sense for the heroine. So I
Yeah.
appreciated that because I feel like a lot of dark romances wouldn't have waited that and put that time and effort. It
Hmm.
would just been like off to the races. The heroine's not okay with it, but like the whole dubious consent, it would just kind of go right into it. But I felt that's what kind of took me aback. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
dark, but it's like responsible dark romance.
yeah. And um, we can talk a little bit about spoilers because I'm going to talk. I wanted to ask how you felt about the book with the taboo part of it, like why you thought it might be taboo. I mean that's obvious why it's taboo, but like I like to talk about like what makes it taboo to you. So, what made it taboo for you when reading it?
It's the student teacher relationship, especially in high school. Even though, correct me if I'm wrong, she's 18 turning 19 or something
She's
like that.
17, turning 18.
17 turning 18. I thought it was like she was like around, I knew she was around 18. It's really just that power dynamic, especially because
Mhm.
she needs to like do well in the school so she can achieve her dreams. And I can definitely and like the hero definitely has a history a little bit with his predilections that kind of get him in trouble, like him doing certain things to like a certain character to keep their mouth shut.
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay. I
Yep.
was like, that's just a perfectly healthy and normal way. And the fact that his parents are like, what, your father likes to do the same thing. I'm like, oh gosh.
Yep.
But that's what made it taboo. It's just like really that dynamic. It doesn't bother me in college because everyone's of age. There is not there is not that whole taboo thing. It's really just that power dynamic because you're not in a position of power as a student.
Yeah. So for me, the taboo was her being 17 the entire time. Like she is not 18
Mm,
at all in this story until the epilogue. And in
okay.
the epilogue, I think she's like 21, I think.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
that was the part that bothered me. I mean, not bothered me in like a bad way,
Mm-hmm.
but like that was the taboo part.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree that student teacher is taboo because of like the power dynamic and the fact that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure teachers that get kicked out of like their like get fired for involving themselves with their students.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that's also the taboo part, but
I
yeah, it
mean,
was definitely the fact that she was 17 and not an adult at all.
I guess in my mind, I just like made her 18. This
Yeah,
was
you
like
aged
18,
her up.
19. I just aged her up because like she read older.
Yeah, she
She
read
didn't
more mature.
read. She read like she was in her 20s. So I was like, oh, okay, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really interesting because I forgot where I was going with that. But
Well, I
yeah.
think I aged her up too. Is the thing. I think I also aged her up. And I
Hmm.
just happened to realize like halfway through, I was like, she's not 18 in this.
I
So,
guess it didn't bother me because the consent was so strong
mhm.
anytime they engage in anything. So
Yeah,
it was really all on her terms. And like everything, he's like, tell me we need to stop. Tell me if we need to do this. So like I appreciated that.
yeah,
So like that
100%.
kind of lessened the whole like the fact that she's like underage to me a
Hmm.
little bit. I don't think like it's glaring. Sometimes like I just like because I completely forgot that she was 17 for most of the book. So it's like I feel like there's so many other things going on that that can kind of fly underneath the radar. You're like, oh, she's 18. Okay, we're good. I guess in my mind, I just wanted her to be 18 so like we can go off to the races and I don't have to feel icky about rooting for this romance.
Yeah. Well, I where she read so much older, I really believed their story. Like I really believed it. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel weird at all reading it either, which doesn't happen often,
Mm-hmm.
like with minors.
Yeah, I didn't. The only thing I felt was that was a little bit unbelievable was her backstory and
Hmm.
how much abuse that she has been put through. especially what her brother ends up doing in the end,
Hmm.
I was just like, that was the point where I wish we spent a little bit more time on her backstory to kind of flesh that out more. Because it
Yeah.
didn't make 100% sense to me. That's why towards the end I started to knock down a star
Yeah.
for that. Because
Yeah.
like, okay, realistically, like that's the fact that she like almost all the guys in this book assault her in some way, fashion, or form. I was like, it was a bit unrealistic in some aspects, just like for how much the magnitude of abuse was a little bit, but that was like the only thing that kind of like, I don't even know, kind of like took me out of the story a little bit. Because then I started
Yeah.
thinking about it critically. I'm like, how is this like no one else has like done anything this whole
Yeah.
entire time? Like a student is just like casually like humping on her while talking to his mom. I was like, what the? And then he has the nerve to ask her like, did you get off? I was like, it's just like
She's just like, no.
there's just situations I'm not like that. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit. That's like it's a little bit unrealistic, but like you have to suspend disbelief quite a bit to really enjoy this story.
Yeah. I actually believed that a little bit more. I guess just because like I think the setup of like how horrible all the people there are to her anyway, I believed it a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked everyone what they read the book, what they rated the book, and Shay said, she didn't get to it.
It's a long one. It's a long.
Yeah.
It's 13 hours on audio.
Okay, it was long and like it was a 13-hour audiobook, but it did not feel like one.
Mm-mm.
Like I at no point felt like it was like a super long audiobook. Normally anything over 12 hours, um I'm like struggling to get through it because my attention
Mm-hmm.
span is so short, but I did not struggle to get through this one at all.
No, me
It
neither.
just, it
18 was a
just
struggle.
yeah. This one, it just felt like I turned it on and then every time I turned it off, I was like, but I need to know what's happening. Like I have to turn it back
Mm-hmm.
on. So
Yeah, the audiobook is really good for this one. Oh my. What are we? Can we talk spoilers?
okay, well, we're gonna talk spoilers now.
If you don't want to be spoiled,
Yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled, you can come back after y'all read the book. But we'll do spoilers now.
what did you think about the murder at the
Oh my god.
that just came out of left field. I was like, and it was completely they got away with it, no repercussion.
I don't know how in the world that happened. I just that was one of the moments where I was like, I'm gonna have to suspend my disbelief here, or
A lot.
I'm gonna have to like have like a full blown like a figure this out like a detective how they got away with this. I don't even remember how they got rid of the body.
I think they buried it in the backyard or something. When she made that choice, I was like, "You had me up until this point. You are a 3-star reader." I was like, because there was no inkling in the book that like our hero had the capacity to kill. He just randomly kills, and the father just shows up and is like, "Hey, we're gonna steal everything in this person's house, and then I'm gonna sexually assault you." That just came completely out of nowhere. Shane's like, the brother's like, "I didn't know this would happen."
Yeah, this comment. Yep. So I loved that portion, like the brother teaming up with like the guy who's like been assaulting her and him never
Mm-hmm.
believing her and then him catching it happen. Loved that part. Like I
Yeah, I
loved
did.
like the brother like realizing he's a piece of shit essentially and not believing his sister. Didn't love the killing a cat for no good reason other than to kill a cat. I was like, why did we have to kill this poor girl's dog or poor girl's cat? Just because we have to show how horrible this. We know how horrible he is. He's been sodomizing her since she was 13. Like,
And the fact she's like, I
that
need
was
food to feed
so
my
unnecessary.
cat. That was.
Absolutely unnecessary. Killing a poor animal for no reason.
I think, wasn't the hero angry about that when he killed the father? Lorenzo, I think is his name. He's like, how dare you kill the kitty?
Yeah, he was.
I was like, first off,
like,
we
that's
don't
what
see
you're upset about.
we don't see on page her interacting with her cat that much.
No.
I know she mentions like she needs money to feed the cat, but then I was like, why'd you have to do that, Pam? Like, the cat did nothing.
Yeah.
Why did you have to have a double homicide at the end of the book and then just completely nothing happens with it? I was just like, I did not expect a murderer to be in this book. I was like, I should have messaged you when I got to that part. I should have been like, what the hell?
Yeah.
The whole book was like an easy 4 or higher, and then that ending, I was like, what the hell was she thinking?
I still can't figure out how they would have got away with it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like logically, how they're going to get away with this murder from this guy who, one, he has a private investigator on him. So, like, once they figure out that, like, this guy's missing and his body's going to start to, like, rot, even if it's, like, buried, it's going to start to stink. How are people not figuring this out? How are they fine 4 years later?
Maybe she's working on the second book where they all go to prison and there's a prison romance. I don't know. Like, and talk about what the hero did to the dean.
Oh, I know.
I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's like, see this video? Now you must shut up.
So the one thing I will say about the hero that was really confusing to me was how in the world he managed to, like, manipulate so many people. Like, manipulates, I think it was another teacher, into masturbating in his classroom so that she wouldn't spill the beans about him and Ivory. And then again, having a private investigator just have her husband banging someone else, and then that's how he got her to, just stay quiet. That girl stay in school. I'm just like, this seems like a lot of work for, like, and it doesn't make any sense.
All I gotta say is, like, he has to be, like, super, super good looking. That, like, every woman in this school will be like, okay.
He agrees.
He's probably lamenting the cat's death.
I love this. That's what she's working on. Jailhouse love letters.
Hey, that could be a good romance. You never know. That could be steamy. I would read that.
Okay, so were there any hard no's for you in this one? Anything that it's usually a hard no, or something that you didn't know was a hard no? Anything like that in this one that you want to share?
No, I think for dark romance, I'm like one of those, like you and Jen, I would say. It takes a lot to get me to, like, have a hard no in a dark romance. I make a lot of allowances. I don't usually have a ton of trigger warnings that I need to be paying attention of. I can read pretty much anything in dark romance, so there wasn't anything a hard no for me. But I just wish it was darker. It was like the whole cover, like, dark notes, and it's almost like contemporary with slight dark elements. But I feel like if I gave that to, like, Carrie or some people who don't read a ton of dark romance, they might have a lot, like, a hard nose, like the sexual assault, hard no.
Yeah.
The underage sex, hard no.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, could have been steamier. I didn't need to wait that long. How about you?
So no, I don't really have any hard nose. My hard nose are like bestiality, and that's usually it. Because a hard sell for me is usually minors and adults relationships. It's not a hard no because I could read it and sometimes enjoy it. This is a situation where I did.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a hard. There was a hard sell in here for me, but hard nose there was not a hard no. At all. Like, I would even say I don't really have any hard nose.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely could see how this could be hard for people who can't read about sexual assault for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That and I think also someone like probably like Izzy who can't read or tends to not read. Hi Dallas. Okay, you want to let them know about Izzy's hard nose? All right. Um, who tends to not read like about minors and adults because of like the grooming stuff. Definitely, that's definitely stuff in here that is hard nosed for other people. But yeah, for me, they're not really. There's not really one in here.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there anything other than the murder at the end that you hated or really disliked?
No, most of the book I actually really enjoyed. I switched between the audiobook and reading the physical ebook because I just had both. I didn't even realize I had the ebook until I went to Audible. I'm like, oh, I can whisper sync it for $7. So I did it back and forth, and it was such an addictive reading experience. That was the only thing that took me out of it because the story felt so grounded up until that point. And I was kind of like, okay. It just took a twist that was the only thing that I did not like in that book. The ending just threw me completely off.
Yeah,
Could have had more steam in it. I needed more steam. Pam was like a little bit hesitant on the steamy scenes. I
yeah.
was like, for a 13-hour audiobook, I expect something every 30 minutes.
I didn't like the mom character. I really didn't like her,
Oh.
and
Mhm.
the cat murder. We didn't like the cat murder. We didn't like the double homicide at the end of the book. I'm sorry, I can't stop referring to it as a double homicide now because
It
it's so
is.
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
At first, when I
I
read, I
don't-
thought Shane died too.
oh, but
I
no,
was
it
like,
was the
oh, it was a
cat.
cat. I was like, is Shane dead too? I'm like, is it three? A triple homicide?
Oh my god. Oh my god. So I didn't like the mom. I didn't like the. I'm not gonna say that the neglect and abuse that she gets in that story is um, unrealistic because I know there are people that deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just really hard. He also agrees. It's just really hard to like to read about, like to
Mm-hmm.
see like someone dislike their child so much. I think that was just hard to
Mm-hmm.
swallow. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that's just part of dark romance. Is that's the kind of stuff you're gonna get whenever you read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing that just came across my mind was that I don't know how big of an issue I had with this, but the heroine's agency throughout the book. Um, it's even not until even at the end, she doesn't really herself do anything that kind of saves her. Is the hero coming to save her a little bit by killing Lorenzo? The hero basically setting the terms of what like the sexual relationship will look like. I kind of felt like a little bit like she was almost like kind of like a background seat to her own story a little bit. I didn't find like a strong heroine, almost like an alpha female character in her. It was definitely there for all the abuse that she went through and the fact that she managed to continue on. But I felt like at some points the male characters, especially the hero, really kind of overshadowed her in a lot of ways. Like almost he was like were just way overly protective at times and not just allowing her to try and handle it herself.
Yeah. The one thing I will say that I loved about her was you can really tell she's submissive, and that they have this BDSM relationship. And I just, when I was reading from her, I felt, and I don't know how Pam Godwin made this work this way, but like she did a really good job of like, she put me into her shoes, and I really felt like I was in her head. So it really felt like she needed someone to like take over that role and to like give her, because she's like fought for everything she has, and she has been the reason that she survived through all her trauma and like just in general. So it really felt like she needed someone to just take care of her. So I liked that about the hero, actually, was I felt like he came in and like took that burden off her shoulders rather than her having to do it again after doing it for years.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that critique. I think it's almost like I can see someone who isn't a fan of dark romance that being something they may call out in the book. Because in general, some people just
Yeah.
don't like the whole alpha, like really alpha, very possessive, crazy, overprotective type of character. And
Yeah.
that's this hero. But he does do consent really well. So I was like, I got to
Yes.
give you a positive for that. I was like, all this consent, but like, you make it work, Pam. Like,
Yeah. And
this
like,
seems to be more of a thing in romance.
and he actively is trying to make sure she's using her. Like, he won't go as far as he wants to go because he's afraid she won't use her safe word. And I love that about him.
Mm-hmm.
That was like amazing.
Mm-hmm. Because he has like some very kinky taste.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I need
Does.
you to be sure. I need you to be sure. And like, tell
Yeah.
me if this is a hard no because like, I was like, damn.
Yeah. I really loved the scene when she found her hard no.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved that even though she found the hard no, she was able to still trust him.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved how patient he was with her too.
Yeah. He
Because he was
never, you know.
he fully anticipated like it not happening, and he was
Mm-hmm.
more than okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
like that. Yeah, there. I would say like for a dark romance, it's not It's not 100% problematic. I think
mhm.
everything was handled well for the story.
Yeah, I would
Not
agree with
everything, but I didn't love everything. But usually with dark or taboo, it's usually very problematic. Some of the things you're like, that didn't work. Why'd you do that? Or why'd
you.
you
Yeah,
do that? That didn't work for me. This one actually is not. Like I would give it to people who haven't read dark romance and they want to get a little bit of a taste because I feel like it handles a lot of those issues really well. That's the
yeah.
best part.
I feel like this could definitely be given to someone who is not well versed in dark romance and wants to try out
Mm-hmm.
if they can handle certain things, because it does have a lot of things that would be a hard no for people. But if they can handle those kinds of things, this is definitely one I would put on like a beginner's list.
Mm-hmm.
So who
Yeah.
was your favorite character?
Let's see. Honestly, I liked the hero's parents.
The hero's
But
parents?
I wish they had more because like they were just like, oh yeah, that's our son. You get that from your father. I was like, I love this so much. And the
Yeah,
fact that the hero takes the heroine to his family because he knows that she misses that environment and how his mother's so warm and accepting,
yeah,
even though her son has some like weird tastes.
yeah,
But I love the unconditional support, and I wish we got more of them because they were just
yeah,
so much fun.
yeah. I
If
love them
Pam's
too.
listening, write a prequel for the parents. I want to see their romance.
Just message her afterwards. We're gonna need a prequel to this book. Thank you.
I was like, just a novella, just a novella. It can be short.
I one thing that mentioning the parents that I thought was an interesting. I wish she would have expanded on a little bit more was the ex girlfriend who tried to say that she
Mm-hmm.
was pregnant with his kid.
Good,
I
yeah.
wish it wouldn't have been resolved with a phone call and like that's it. I wish we could have like heard the conversation
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. That was my only complaint with that small like
Mm-hmm.
subplot that was in there.
Yeah.
Because I
She
wish we
gave us
could have.
a double homicide and never explained that.
I know.
So like, I don't think we're gonna get those like little. If it's like not important, it's just like phone call here. Okay, that character they buried the body over here. Okay, let's move on. I was like, and then her piano audition. I was like, what is she doing?
Yeah, she's over here like playing some random thing, and then I know, and then they then they said she could have like a spot whenever she wanted after she then played something else. And I'm just like, no, that is not going to happen. That would never happen. That would never. As soon as she started playing the wrong thing, they would have been told her to get out. They wouldn't have let her sit back down and play again. They would have been like, "What is this girl doing? Get out of this audition room."
Wasn't it just like a pop song? I forgot the song. She mentioned the song in the book. It was like an Irish pop song. I was like, what is she doing? I guess it was supposed to be like a touching moment between the two, but like it just completely
felt silly.
It felt flat for me because she's working all her life to get to this one audition, and then she's like, "I'm gonna play an Irish pop song." I don't know, but to each their own. That's what like the ending did something. I was just like, why are you doing this? I suspended my disbelief for like 10 hours with you. And now you give me a double homicide and an Irish pop song? I can just imagine the trigger warnings that there was one in the book. Death of a cat. You're like, what? It would be like sexual assault. Death of a family figure. Death of a cat. Underage age gap, whatever.
Yeah.
I can just imagine readers going like, what? Death of a cat. How would a cat die?
I still can't get over just the absolute nonsense of that one.
Hey, at least this was better done than 18 that we read too. That book was just from chapter 2. It was like just a mess. I was like, and the fact that
one was
she had a
awful.
whole she said it was based on a true story because she had credits. Like she could have graduated, but they said she had to repeat certain classes or some situation like that. I forgot the setup for that one, but I think that was based on the true story part. And then she was like, "Oh yeah." Then the student-teacher relationship happened. I was like,
that one just was not believable in the slightest. That one was just like, I'm so glad that was not the one we picked. That would have been
oh my goodness
to talk about. We would just be roasting it the whole time.
I hated it. I was like, thank God we chose Dark Notes. I was like, and we read 18 as soon as we picked Dark Notes, and we were like, thank God. We both hated it. I'm so happy I didn't have to waste a credit on that book. It was free through Audible. I was like,
I know. Same.
I'd have been so mad. I'm like, Audible, take this book back. Get it off my phone.
You're not even allowed to replace books anymore, are you? Or return them?
I'm not. So, like, it's equally angry to me, like, if I get a book, I'm like, dang it, I shouldn't have paid a credit for that.
How many have you returned?
Let's see.
At what point did they keep that?
I would say I returned like 100 books, but then I bought like 300. So like it's skewed. So like I buy more, and it's like only like 10% I end up returning. But it's like I'm a higher volume, so like now Libro FM is getting my business. But
what was your favorite part of Dark Notes?
What was it was the scene with Preston. I would say the scene with Preston in the beginning, and then the theater scene when they go off stage.
Okay.
Those are my two favorites. I just like that. Like it was like the way it was handled. Preston was just like, it's like, am I? What do you think was supposed to happen? He's like, you didn't like that? She's like, no. I could just like picture that in my head, like just talking to your like family or a family member. You're just like, da, 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 and like doing this like very lewd activity.
Yeah.
That was just like, I need to see his romance. Like he needs a book.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I also loved that scene with Preston where he's just on the phone while also like with his mom while having sex with her. But I think my favorite scene is the scene where she finally tells him no, and she doesn't want to do it anymore, and then
Mm.
um, Emmerich decides to like come over and beat his ass. I think that was my favorite scene. I was just like, look at you go, look at you protecting her. Loved that one. It was great.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good moment too.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite. That and the double homicide, because that makes so much sense. It makes perfect sense. The double homicide at the end. Heather's probably like, "What are they talking about? Double homicide?"
Yep. We were just as shocked as when we were reading it. We're like, what the hell is happening right now?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. But this is not it's not scary. It's not a dark book. Even
No,
the
I would.
whole double homicide was like really quick.
It's it's
It
laughable
did
once you read it.
it doesn't take it that very I think it's like maybe like what, a page or two? Like or a
Yeah,
chapter?
maybe.
It's like one chapter and then it's done.
So, so do you like the student teacher trope, or is this a trope that you don't usually read?
Oh, I love it. I love the
You love
trope.
it. I
The
love it
only
too.
trope I'm not a hard no is the dating your sibling's best friend trope.
Oh, you don't like that one?
Especially when they like have to when they're like, oh, let's keep it a secret and not tell the person. I'm like, God, because then I know how it's going to end up. Like, you guys are gonna get caught. Everyone's gonna get angry at each other. That's
Yep.
the only trope I like. It has to be done well for me to go like, okay, I liked it, but no, I eat student teacher
Okay.
romances up. That's my thing. I like that
I
stuff.
I adore them. I love them a lot. Um, I was gonna ask you if this one made you not want to read any other ones because it was good done poorly or in a good way. Is there any? Did it make you want to like maybe take a break on them or want to read more of them?
Oh no, no. Now I'm looking for novellas that just give me straight to the
Just
point. I'm like, you see
straight
what Madison
banging,
Faye has? Just like go straight to it. That reminds
straight to.
me, Madison Faye does have a high school series
Oh, okay.
that's super taboo. I think
See, for me,
she
student
turns
teacher is only. Oh, what is it?
I think in that series the heroine turns 18 like 2 minutes before to get to it.
Oh, that's the
It's
perfect part.
literally like down to the wire.
Okay, so I love student teacher. The only way that it's a no is if it's like, and it's not even a no. The only way it's like a harder one to like sell for me is high school, specifically when they're underage. So that's why I was honestly shocked why I liked this one so much because this is
Mm,
both of the things that I usually don't like in a student teacher. I
hmm.
love them in college. I love them in college.
Yeah, I don't. You don't find as many in college because it's not as taboo.
Hmm. Yeah, I just
Um,
started reading the one by Charlie Rose. I can't
oh,
remember what it's called.
Misbehaved.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just got the audiobook from Hoopla, so I just started it.
That one looks good.
Yeah, I would agree.
Um,
So do you have any other student teacher recommendations that you want to share? Because I know I did a
um,
whole recommendation list, but if you've read a lot and you want to share any, we're taking
I think
notes.
there's Bait by Madison Faye. I think that's the name of that novella. Um, what else? So that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I probably
Not
read
18.
more. I think Jessica Kane has a couple too
I
that
think
are
Jess
good.
Kane. Yeah.
I think she has a couple that are good.
Heather, the abuse for the heroine was pretty on page.
Yeah,
Um,
it
it was,
happens on page.
yeah, it was pretty tough. So if that was your holdup, I don't know if I would read it. I'll message you though if you want me to tell you like how it happens and how many times it happens. And if anyone wants to know that, you can message me, and I don't care to let you know in case you don't want other people to know how many times it happens and stuff. But I really enjoyed this one. I'm glad this is what we picked.
Me too.
I'm really glad it
I've
wasn't
been.
18.
Oh man, it's short. 18 was shorter. It was much shorter.
It was. It was much more garbage.
Now I'm just like I have all these J. Huss titles in my Audible library because they're on Audible Plus. And I'm like, do I really want to try her again?
I don't think I do. I don't know how you fuck a book up so bad for like 18. And I know that this was not our pick. And I don't know if you all have read it. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but let me just say it was not good. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Like it made me go and rethink my rating for Love Unexpected by QB Tyler.
Oh my god, same,
I was
because I
like,
hate that one too.
I was like, I had problems with that one, but like 18 was just like a whole other level. So I had to
Yeah.
like adjust my rating. So it was like Love Unexpected has to get like a slightly higher rating
Yeah.
than
I think
18
I
because
ended up
18
giving
was just trash.
it was. I think I originally gave it 2 stars,
I think I
but
gave it one.
it's more of it's a one, just being
It's a
honest.
one.
But
It's a definite one.
yeah. So okay, Heather, I'll spoil you. I'll message you and spoil you so you can know if you want to check it out. And I do have it on Audible if you want to read it. Oh wait, you don't read audiobooks. Sorry, I forget.
Oh yeah. And
Because of
Pam
the
doesn't
value.
include trigger warnings or content, so you
No.
have to find them on your own.
I do have all the trigger warnings and content warnings listed in my Goodreads review. So
Hmm.
if anyone needs them. All right. Well, Charles, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, this was a fun discussion.
I love it. I love Taboo Book Club. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on my channel, being part of the Taboo Book Club. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
I am so excited. I hope every month is this good, where we have like a good discussion and also a good book. Because sometimes we have trash books and good discussions. Not usually
Never.
both. So, so I'm excited. I'm glad this one was good.
Do you have next month already? Can you
I do.
announce? Or am I
I
putting you on the spot? I don't want to do like I did before, like, oh yeah, da 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 da. I was like, oh
you were
man,
just like,
what's
I'm
in
on that. So I actually was gonna leave y'all in suspense. I have it all picked out. Do y'all want to know, or do you want me to leave you in suspense? What should I do?
Give us a trope, the theme. What is
Daddy
it?
King.
Oh, damn. I
Next one
just
is
listened
Daddy
to
King.
one on audio.
Unfortunately, this one does not have an audio.
Okay. I'm sorry. You just lost me.
Okay, well, does anyone want to guess who it is? I'm not gonna tell you my co-host because I'll announce that tomorrow. Because the announcement goes out tomorrow.
Is it a new
Everyone
release?
wants to know. Okay, give me guesses. Does anyone have any guesses?
Is this K Webster?
Nope.
LJ Chen? Brianna
It's not.
Hale?
It is Brianna Hill.
It's Rush, isn't it?
It's Rush. It's Rush by Brianna Hill.
Why was this on Telegram? I was like, what is it like? You said like, I was like, you posted a book. You posted the new release.
I did.
Of course, it would
Yeah.
be your next pick.
Yeah, I loved it. So it is the next Taboo Book Club pick. It is Rush by
Okay,
Brianna Hill.
that's a rock star
It's a
romance
rock
too.
star daddy kink romance.
Is it like Control Freak? I didn't like Control Freak.
Um, yes and no. Like, which parts of Control Freak didn't you like? Was it the eating
It was
disorder
an
stuff?
eating disorder.
There's no eating disorder or anything like that in
Okay,
this.
okay. I'll read it then.
I love it. It's so good.
You
The
just say you
co-host
might as well.
isn't here, so that's why I don't want to
I was about
announce
to
it yet.
say, is it Shay?
It's not Shay. But he's not here, so I can't announce it.
It's a he.
Yeah, it's a he.
Oh, it's he does manga
Yeah, it's Dylan.
with Shay Dylan.
It's Dylan.
When you say he, I'm like, okay, that like eliminates like 95% of romance book two. I was like, if you said female, I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna guess that.
Yeah, it's Dylan from Dynamic Dylan. I'm very excited. We're
That
all
should be
very
fun.
excited. Dylan also loves Daddy King, so it was only fitting that we did it together.
Just like psychoanalyze and see if you guys have like parental issues. That's what
I
everyone
do.
always says when
I have mommy issues.
when that comes up. They're like, "Do you have like some unseated issues?"
I do, 100%. I'm adopted. Hello.
Is it like the reverse? Is there one for like moms?
I don't
Is that a
know.
thing? Is that a
Oh,
thing?
mommy kink? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that? I haven't read the book.
Yeah. I don't think there's a book. Have you seen the guy on TikTok who just like moans mommy? Because he does that all the time. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I need to go watch that.
I love this.
Yeah, Rockstar's
I
a big fan.
also am into Rockstars right now. I do also have the date. Let me pull it up. I'm not prepared. I wasn't planning on announcing everything. I was going to leave you all in suspense and be like, no, I will not tell
Hey,
you anything yet.
I only asked for the trope. You gave me the
And then
trope,
I've
the
told
book, and
everything.
and then you just gave me all the details.
I did. I was just like, I'll just share everything. It's fine. So the live show is going to be on not February. We are in May. May the 28th at 7:30 EST. So that's when the date's going to be. That's when we'll have the live show. And I'll put the links up in the Discord and everything in just a little bit. But I'm very excited to read Rush. I hope that you read it.
I'm gonna read it.
Oh my god! Drew their eyes.
Oh, I have a book that you would like that I'm reading right now.
What is it?
Her Soul to Take by Haley LaRue.
I'm reading that too. I'm reading it too.
I saw it on Instagram. I think I'm like halfway through it right now.
I'm like 25%.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
It's really good.
It's weird, but
It
it's
is.
so good.
It doesn't feel super paranormal either.
No, it has a horror vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm loving it.
What the hero says he's gonna do to the heroine, and then he actually does it. I'm like, just wait to get to that part, and then message me.
I'm gonna go read it here in a little bit. I'm very excited. I'm trying to finish up one of. I found an author who reminds me a lot of Brianna Hill, so.
Oh.
It's very interesting. Like I have to continuously remind myself that this is not Brianna. Like I'm not reading from Brianna.
Why don't you like tag her in the picture of the wrong book, and she's like, I didn't write that to me.
I think she recommended this book in her Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
So, well, Charles, thanks for being on the Taboo Book Club and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy you were here. All right. Well, I'm going to end our broadcast. We'll talk to you all later. I'll be in the Discord, getting everything set up and stuff. So I'll chat with y'all later. Bye.
All right. Bye.